Good Day Siouxland with Nick Wilson and meteorologist Ethan Foreman. From KCAU 9 News, this is Good Day Siouxland.
Well, good morning. It's 6:44 on this Thursday morning. I'm Nick Wilson.
And I'm Ethan Foreman.
And overall, maybe not the best day ahead, but it could be worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be better than yesterday, that's for sure. Here's a look at our Blackbird Bend Casino camera showing that we see some clear skies out there right now, but those clouds will be quick to increase as we head through the morning. Temperatures are stationed generally in the teens and 20s, down to 19 in Cherokee and Denison, 20 in Tacoma, 26 the warm spot right now in Norfolk, and 25 in Sioux Falls and Storm Lake. Road conditions are still showing some partially covered roads, particularly southeast of Wayne, and then areas like Storm Lake and Denison near Esterville and Emmitsburg as well, seeing some of those partially covered roads. So still plan on giving yourself some extra time, and anybody could see an icy spot as we could be seeing some of that refreezing from overnight. So definitely keep an eye on that. Could see some black ice from that. Temperatures today climbing into the low 40s with some afternoon rain, changing to snow as we head into tonight. Those details coming up after celebrating the nines and stray of the day.
All right, thanks, Ethan. Well, a member of Iowa's congressional delegation has introduced a bipartisan bill that's aimed at reducing food waste. Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley and Illinois Senator Dick Durbin are co-sponsoring the bill that would direct the USDA to create a food loss and waste reduction certification that businesses would have to meet certain requirements to earn. Grassley's office says more than $440 billion is spent each year on producing and then throwing away food that never gets eaten. Disposing of that food waste also uses as much water as 50 million homes each year, according to the EPA. And meanwhile, the new 25% tariff on Canada will likely have impacts here at home sooner than you might think. It wasn't that long ago that supply chain issues caused lumber prices to skyrocket. Now, prices have settled since then, but the 25% tariff on Canadian lumber will likely send them right back up. The owners of Marcus Lumber tell us the company has been stocking up before the price hike hits, with the spring construction season just around the corner.
Projects that are starting in the spring, so much of the things we do, we can't start until the weather starts to cooperate. So there's this little bit of a limbo going on here where people want to get this pricing locked in, but they can't quite take the materials or start with using them. For us directly, a little bit of a bummer.
Despite the uncertainty, Levitt says Marcus Lumber is still giving out plenty of quotes to prospective customers looking to build homes. Meanwhile, another industry where tariffs could soon have an impact here in Siouxland is agriculture. The U.S. imports more than 90% of the potash used to make potassium fertilizer, and more than 80% of those imports come from Canada. But it's not just imports where Siouxland farmers could be impacted. Exports will likely take a hit as well, as other countries introduce their own tariffs on the U.S. in return.
We're very concerned about the tariffs because of the fact that we export approximately 25 to 30% of the product that we produce in the United States. And so the export market is very essential to us, and we're concerned about if there will be any retaliation in this regard.
Mueller adds, South Dakota imports around 800,000 pigs from Canada each year. Yet another way the tariffs could end up having a big impact. Well, meanwhile, if you have the time to hop over to Lamar's, Iowa today, you might want to check out the celebration at the Wells Visitor Center and Ice Cream Parlor. Today marks exactly 25 years since the parlor opened in its original location along Highway 75. In the years since then, it moved to its current location that's in downtown Lamar's. For a quarter century now, workers have been serving up plenty of smiles and Blue Bunny treats. And for today only, they'll sell single dip waffle cones for the same price they were on opening day in 2000. Other anniversary celebrations will take place over the next 25 weeks. Speaking of celebrations, it's Thursday morning, and that means it's time for Celebrating the Nines.
That's right. We have just a couple of number 9 birthdays to celebrate today, so let's get started.
First up is Ruth and Logan Webster yesterday. Ruth turned 90 and Logan turned 9. That's pretty cool to share a birthday. We hope it was a great one for both of you.
And this week's winner is Vanessa Siouxland, who turned 39 today, actually. She's won a $20 gift card or gift certificate to Pizza Ranch, courtesy of Pizza Ranch. Happy birthday, Vanessa.
And remember, if you want to celebrate your 9s with us, it's easy. Just go to SiouxlandProud.com and click on Celebrating the 9s under the Contest tab to enter by Tuesday, March at noon. Next week's prize is coming from Coffee King. And how about that, Vanessa? That might be the first outdoor picture we've had for Celebrating the 9s. Pretty cool background there.
Yeah, it certainly is, and that would be Tuesday, March 11th, the next time you need to enter by, so certainly have some time to enter.
And a nice gift there from Pizza Ranch, too.
Absolutely.
Now it's time to meet today's Stray of the Day. Every day we share a pet picked up by Sioux City Animal Adoption and Rescue, who's waiting to go home.
That's right, and this is Toby, a 2 to 3-year-old male short-haired gray and white cat. She was found on the 1200 block of 7th Street. The rescue says he's a sweet guy. He just doesn't get along too well with other cats. Toby is available for adoption now.
And if you've lost your pet, you're looking to adopt, or you'd like to sponsor a pet for adoption, you can visit the rescue's website. Just head over to SiouxCityAnimalRescue.com. Toby seems like a nice cat, just a bit of a loner. Doesn't want to be around other cats. That's okay.
Yeah, definitely, and sometimes I look to be alone too. I don't blame him.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know if people will want to be outside for a lot with these weather conditions.
Yeah, definitely a great time to stay home as we headed to tomorrow with that snow on the way. Here's a look at satellite and radar now showing clouds on the increase this morning, and then we'll see clouds continue to increase through the daytime today as we see our next chance of rain arrives this afternoon and evening into the overnight hours. It'll start out as rain, but you can see by just after the evening commute already starting to mix with some snow in spots, and if it happens to be like Tuesday's systems where we got colder faster, we may see that transition a bit faster as well. We'll see that snow continue through the overnight hours into our Friday morning. I think this is holding on the rain in Sioux City a little bit longer than I'm anticipating. I think by midnight everyone will be generally snow by that point, and that continues through your morning commute of Friday. Your morning commute on Friday looking very, very slick. Then as we headed to later into Friday, that system tracks its way to the south by 1 p.m. Starting to see areas north of Highway 20 coming to an end. South of Highway 20 still hanging on to that snow, and by 6 p.m. that is completely out of here. We have winter weather advisories in place through 6 p.m. Friday. This starts at 6 p.m. tonight for areas that are either along the Highway 20 corridor or a county to the north, whereas the county southward, that starts at 9 o'clock this evening. And you see winter storm warnings off to the west as well. That's where they're generally expecting as much as 6 to even 10 inches of snow out there. Most of us are going to be generally in the 2 to 6 inch range, but could see a few spots get a little bit higher, especially into Knox and Cedar counties. That's where I think the highest amounts are going to be, especially along Highway 20. So continuing to watch that. Areas closer to I-80 and I-90 seeing a lot less totals than that. Also seeing some rain this afternoon and evening that could bring as much as 1 to 2 tenths of an inch south of Highway 20 into tonight. Increasing clouds with that afternoon mix today. Thankfully, those winds are not going to be anywhere near as strong with this system, as they're only going to be up to 15 miles per hour with that mix changing over to snow tonight and a low of 28. That snow ends by later in the day on Friday as we see clearing skies this weekend, back to almost 70 on Monday. Clouds do increase later next week with a sprinkle chance Wednesday. Bigger chance of rain comes Friday, March 14th.
Now we turn to sports, where the state tournament action is still in full swing for Iowa High School girls basketball. And Anthony Mitchell has the highlights straight from Des Moines. That's right here in your morning sports wrap.
Good morning, Siouxland. Des Moines seeing measurable snow during state tournament week for the first time in 13 years, but the action only heating up here. An all-local battle in Class 2A as Rock Valley takes on Hinton with a spot in the semifinals on the line. Rockets average a Class 2A best 8.9 threes per game. Blackhawks making its first state trip since 2009. They're 15-0 against teams with a record above 500 this season. The 6th seed making an early statement. Cavery Van Kekkerik sneaks past the defense and puts in the layup. Rock Valley starts the game on an 8-3 run. Hinton has a response. Raylan Kempema drives and finishes. Nice game for Kempema, notching 14 points and 9 rebounds. Rock Valley rocking with its strength. Hudson Ranshaw rattles in the 3. Rockets lead 25-13. Headed into half. Blackhawks come all the way back. Harlan Corvana gets the roll off the rim. Hinton hands out the press. Addie Piggott there for the steal and the score. Blackhawks stay unbeaten with a 53-47 win, while Rock Valley ends the year at 20-4.
Well, I'm very proud of it. Obviously, there's a ton of disappointment right now, so soon after the fact, but hopefully down the road they'll start to understand their accomplishments and how big of a deal it is.
Well, we knew that first half, that's not our type of ball, that's not our game. But we came in halftime and, we refocused, regrouped ourselves, and ultimately reminded to trust each other and come back out in second half and really play our game.
Hinton will face number 2 Regina on Friday at 11:45 a.m. And in Lincoln, the NSAA girls basketball state tournament kicked off in Class D1. The Pendragons moved one step closer toward defending its title, defeating Howells Dodge 64-45. Maddie Dolliver knocked down a single-game state tournament record 9 threes on her way to a game-high 33 points. Up next, they'll face Alma in the semifinals on Friday at 9 a.m. That's your look at sports. Have a good day, Siouxland.
In other sports news, the high-octane NASCAR action continues this weekend with Xfinity's Gov X200, hosted by Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. You can catch all the action this Saturday starting at 3:30 p.m. with NASCAR Countdown Live only on the CW. Now let's take a look at this morning's top stories, what you need to know before you go. Well, if you haven't finished shoveling from the latest snowstorm yet, you might want to get that done before you head out. Various communities across Siouxland have different policies when it comes to getting snow and ice cleared off your sidewalks or risk getting hit with a fine. In Lamar's and Vermilion, you have 48 hours after the snow stops falling. In Norfolk, it's 24 hours. If you're a Sioux City resident, the window is even smaller.
12 hours after the snowfall, have your walks scooped. If it's not done, you may get a notice in the mail from the city. It may be hand delivered or through the mail. You get 2 warnings or 2 notices, and then the 3rd time it's a fine.
Some other things city officials note is make sure your garbage and recycling bins aren't left out in the roadway where they could block snow removal crews. Meanwhile, tow trucks and state troopers stayed busy helping out drivers who got stranded in the snowstorm. The Iowa State Patrol tells us they got calls for 68 crashes and 344 motorist assists. Now, one thing they want drivers to know, especially with another round of snowfall on the way, even after a road has been plowed, the danger doesn't completely go away.
Old 141 all the way into town was very slick. Talking to some of the county guys, talking to the troopers on 75 and Highway 20, there's some good areas, and then all of a sudden there's going to be some partially covered. So people just need to be aware, knowing that their whole travel is going to be a lot slower than normal.
Tow companies also want drivers to remember, if an area is under a tow ban, that means that tow trucks will not be able to come to help you if you get stranded until the ban is lifted. Well, speaking of the weather, one last check. What do we need to know about the forecast?
Yeah, I got more snow on the way tonight. It's likely going to start out as rain, at least along and south of Highway 20, and may mix with snow this afternoon in a few spots, but that will change to all snow tonight. High temperature of 42. One thing of note with this system, there is a slight breeze, but it's not going to be a blizzard like it was yesterday and Tuesday night. And so that will change to all snow tonight as we see generally 2 2 to 5 inches with the highest accumulations right along the US 20 corridor. We do see a warm up this weekend after that snow comes to an end. Be aware there could be several mornings we see some fog from the melting of the snow, so just something to keep in mind. Some rain chances return by Friday, March 14th.
Yeah, honestly, once the weekend gets here, we get a nice little break from precipitation, which
sure do.
will be nice.
Yes, it will.
All right, thanks for watching. KCAU 9 News will be back at 11:30.